ज्ञानानन्दरूपा सामरस्य परायणा कपर्दिनी कलामाला कामधुक्कामरूपिणी.
Truth, wisdom, and bliss. The Shruti, the Brahman, is truth, wisdom, infinity. Brahman is eternal wisdom, bliss, or Sati, true wisdom, Agna, those who are ignorant of that, Ananda. Such persons are without bliss. Rupa gives, that is, she causes pain to those ignorant of the true wisdom. The Shruti says, those who worship ignorance enter into deep darkness. The Brahma Purana also says, the Aranya Shruti condemns those who follow any but true knowledge. Or Satyagyana, Sati, Devi, Agyana, ignorant of those who are ignorant of Devi. To those she assigns Rupa, worlds called Ananda, devoid of bliss. The Shruti also says those worlds are called Ananda, which are covered with deep darkness. The ignorant and unwise men go to those worlds after death. The supreme abode of the co equal nature of Shiva and Shakti. The learned men say, we praise the ancient pair, the parents of the universe. Each is the end attained by the penance of the other. The Kalidasa says, Shiva Devi milks out the essence of the co equal nature when the waves of the enjoyment, and means are calm. The Shruti also says, equally preeminent, equally fundamental, both are equal, or Samarasya, the worlds of Devas, with them Parayana, abode or refuge, or Rasya, songs, Sama, or Sama Veda songs, Parayana, fond of. The Vishwa says Parayana means fond of, devoted to, dependent. Kapardini, Ka, water, that is of Ganga. Para, the flow. The sanctifies. His, Shiva's matted hair, sanctifies even the water of the Ganga. According to the commentator of the Sutta Samhita, Kaparda means earth, mockery, and praise. Hence, Kapardini is greatly praised, or Kapardini, decked with the garland of cow dung cakes. When Shiva incarnated as Malilara, his wife called Mahalasa was decked with a garland of cow dung of cakes. The Vishwa says Kaparda means the matted hair of Shiva and the cow dung cakes. According to the Devi Purana, Kapardini is the wife of Kaparda, Shiva, a deity worshipped at Chagalanda, one of the 68 sacred places. Garland of the Kalas, 64 arts. Kala, beauty. Ma, brilliance. La, possesses. The cow of plenty, that is, she fulfills all desires, or she is a celestial cow, Kamadhenu. The Shruti says, may we be attended by that cow and by speech which confers strength. The desire, Kama, the supreme Shiva, the Kameshwara, is he who desires to create the universe as described in the Shruti. He desired, let me become many, let me create beings, about whom the Brahma Upanishad speaks. He is the person consisting of desire. It is he, O Sakyalya, who is his deity. He replied, woman is his deity.
कलानिधिः काव्यकलारसज्ञारससेवधिः पुष्टा पुरातना पूज्या पुष्करा पुष्करेक्षणा.
Kalas, as described before, Kalas are Jivas. The Brahma Upanishad says, the Atman is the 16th Kala of him. Kalanidhi may mean the moon's disk. According to the Shiva Sutra, Kala means body. The commentator of this explains Kala means action. Hence, all actions end in her. All actions, O Partha, end in wisdom, says Bhagavad Gita. The poetic art, Kavya, the work of poets, which is described and divided into various phases, namely Nataka, Sattaka, Bhana, Dima, Prahasana, etc., and also described in the Agni and other Puranas. The Vishnu Purana says, whether they praise him by means of poems or by means of songs, all the words form the part of the body of the great Vishnu, who assumed the form of the sound, or Kala, the inspiration which produces poetry, because as described in the Tantras variously, a certain kind or Kala, the inspiration which produces poetry, because as described in the Tantras variously, a certain kind of meditation confers the power of poetic composition, or Kavya, Shukracharya, Kala, called Amritasanjeevani, mistress of every kind of literary composition, Rasagna, Rasa, 10 modes of dramatic composition, namely Shringara, etc. Rasagna means also the sense of taste, treasury of rasa, rasa, the nectar of Brahman. The Shruti says, he is the rasa. When this essence is obtained, one becomes blessed. The Brahma Purana also says, Rasa is the supreme Brahman. Rasa is the supreme way. Rasa is the giver of the light to man. Rasa is said to be the seed. He is the Rasa. One having obtained the Rasa becomes blessed. This, on the authority of the scriptures, Rasa represents the vital breath. Who can live or who can breathe without him? Thus, also Shruti speaks. Hence, O Agastya, Rasa is said to be both the vital breath and the giver of vital breath. Thus, ends in the Subhagya Bhaskara, composed by Bhāskararāya, the ninth Kala, called Vishwa, with 800. The ninth hundred, nourished, Pushta, because she is the possessor of the body consisting of 36 tattvas, or possessed of many qualities, or by Brahmarasa, or by Brahmanas. The Smriti says, Brahman is nourished by Brahmanas. The Shruti also says, the old Brahman becomes old through Brahmanas. Ancient, Puratana, because she is the first of all, worshipped, Pujya. She is to be worshipped by all or to be attended. Lotus, Pushkara, Pushka, nourishment, Ra, recover. Pushkara is the deity of Pushkara Tirtha. As there is no difference between Ra and La, Pushkala means complete. Lotus eyed. Pushkareshkara. The Vishwa says Pushkara means lotus, ether, water, elephant's trunk, ant, herb, island, bird, place of pilgrimage, a certain musical note, a kind of serpent, the drum, head, sword, and a fruit called Khadgafala. According to the Padma Purana, Pushkara is a certain planetary conjunction when the sun is in the asterism called Vishakha and the moon is in the Kritika. The conjunction is called Pushkara and it is very rare at the place of the Pushkara. Pushkara also means the earth. The Padma Purana says the Devas call the pericarp of the lotus earth the Saragurus in the lotus. They call divine mountains. The upper petals of the lotus become Lecha country. The lower petals are the worlds of the serpents and the Daityas. Thus, by the wish of Narayana, The earth came out from the lotus. Hence, the earth is called Pushkara. Kshana, festivity or remaining inactive. The Amara says Kshana means leisure, a division of time, festivity. Pushkara also means the banyan tree because Matsya Purana says, because there is a banyan tree in the Pushkara island, it is called Pushkara. The Vishnu Purana says, the banyan tree is in the Pushkara country, that is, in the supreme abode of the Brahman. The Shruti says that one Prajapati was in the banyan leaf. Here, as he slept in the banyan leaf, Vishnu himself is called Pushkara. Ikshana, compassionate look. She beholds him with compassion. The Devi Bhagavata Purana says the adoration to Vishnu is in the form of a boy asleep on banyan leaf. In a half verse, it is said that Devi is the giver of all things. Pushkara water, Ikshana, she looked. The Shruti says there are four ups, waters, namely Devas, men, mains, and Asuras. Supremest light, the Brahma Upanishad says, that is light of light. The Katha Upanishad says, there's no sun shines, nor moon, nor stars, nor these lightnings, nor the fire. The sun shines only when he is illuminated by him. The supreme light one attains. Jyotis here means illuminator, for we see the same meaning given in such places. The illuminator of the mind. Param Jyotis is the 8-syllable mantra described in the 5th chapter of the Dakshina Murti Samhita.
परं ज्योतिः परं धामा परमाणुः परात्परा पाशहस्ता पाशहन्त्री परमन्त्रविभेदिनी.
Supreme abode, Parandhama, Dhaman, light. The Bhagavad Gita says, the sun never illuminates that, nor moon, nor fire. After reaching it, when one does not return, that is my supreme abode. Dhaman, the states of consciousness. Para, beyond. She is beyond the states of consciousness. The Gaudapadacharya says, the man who knows both the object of enjoyment and as well as the enjoyer is never stained though he enjoys in these states. The Sutta Samhita says, he who knows the three states, namely waking, dreaming, and sleeping, he is the self, and that is not the object. The object is superimposed upon that. I take refuge in the supreme abode, which is the evidence of the three abodes characterized by reality, wisdom, bliss, etc., and is the meaning of the word I. Dhaman abode. The Shruti Katha Upanishad says that is the supreme abode of Vishnu. The Kurma Purashad says, my energy is Maheshwari, Gauri, spotless, tranquil, reality, knowledge, bliss, the supreme abode. Thus the Shruti says. Supreme atom, Paramanu. The Shruti says, the more subtle than the atom, that is difficult to know. The Paramanus of logicians are her forms, or Parama, supreme, Anu, mantra. The supremest of the supreme, Paratpara. She is supreme over Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, or Para, the age of Brahma. She is beyond that. The Kali Purana says, the day and the night of the Brahma is called Para. The half of that is called Parardha. Such is the day of the Lord, so also the night. He who is grosser than the gross and subtle than the subtle has neither day nor night nor year. Bearing a noose in her hand, the noose is in her lower left hand, or she removes the bonds with her hand, destroyer of the noose. The Harivamsha says, when she had burst the bonds of Aniruddha, who was bound by the serpent noose, which was like a thunderbolt, who was distressed in mind, she addressed him, offering to confer boons on him, etc. Destroyer of hostile charms, Para, those who hate her devotees, that is, kings. Mantra, certain energies which are included in the three energies, namely the energy of lordship, counsel, and armed force. Or para, by enemies. Mantra, the magical charms or the mantras of the magical weapons. The Hari Vamsha, when Indra sends words about Pradyumna, says, to destroy that weapon, you must now remember Devi. Or Para, superior mantra, the 15 syllabled mantra Vibhedini. She divides into 12 kinds, for it is said in the Tantras Manu, Chandra, Kubera, Lopamudra, Manmatha, Agastya, Agni, Surya, Nandi, Skanda, Shiva, and Krodabhattaraka. These 12 are the devotees of Devi. Para, superior. Mantra, those who meditate on Devi. Avi, their sins. Bhedini, destroys. The Linga Purana says the word Avi in the scriptures means sins. Says the Brahmanas, it is called Abhimukta because it is freed from that sin and freed also from illusion.
मूर्ता मूर्ता नित्यतृप्ता मुनिमानसहंसिका सत्यव्रता सत्यरूपा सर्वान्तर्यामिनी सती.
Shapely, shapeless, that which has form is called Mruta. Earth, water, and fire. Amurta means air and ether, which are formless, or Murta, the five gross elements mingled with each other. Amurta, the subtle elements which are not mingled with each other. For we see the above two explanations given by the commentary in the Shruti. Brahman has two forms, Murta and Amurta, or Murta, universe, Amurta, Brahman. The Vishnu Purana says that Brahman has two forms, Murta and Amurta. These two, respectively, perishable and imperishable, and both are in all beings. The imperishable is the ever remaining Brahman, the perishable is the whole universe. The logicians explain the word Murta, that which has motion, but we should not adopt their theory as it has no foundation. Satisfied with the perishable offerings, because she is pleased only by devotion, or aniti, literally meaning breath. Jivas, atripta, not satisfied, because in the Shruti it is said that both Brahmana and Kshatriya are its food, or she is pleased with everything. The Bhagavad Gita says, he who offers with devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I accept from the striving self. The meaning is whatever is given with devotion gives her satisfaction. The swan of the Manasa lake of the Muni's mind, or Muni of the Munis. Mana, to please. Sahamsika, that is, she takes delight in pleasing the Munis. Of fixed vows, Satya, Brahman alone, Vrata, dear, or Satya, truth alone is her vow. The meaning is she is attained by the vow of observing the utterances of truth, or Satya, giving result quickly, Vrata, such are vows to her. The Devi Bhagavata Purana explains this, and the Vishnu Bhagavata Purana says to attain Krishna, the cowherd girls made a vow to Devi and quickly obtained their desired objects. Or Satyavrata means that Sri Rama said in the Ramayana, once who once approaches me with a request, I am yours, or him I confer fearlessness from all beings. This is my vow. According to the Shiva Sutra, the cure of the body is a vow. The commentator says, to take care of the body which is filled with the nectar of devotion to Shiva is a vow that should be performed, hence, the care of the body should not be neglected. Such a vow is necessary, hence, Bhattotpala asks for bodily health in these words. May this body, nourished by the nectar, derived from the pure Shakti, another reading from pure devotion, manifested in me, remain long to enjoy thy worship. Satyavrata is a Brahmana who, frightened by a boar, exclaimed, I, and through his penance became a devotee of Devi and a great poet. The story is related in the Devi Bhagavata Purana. There was a Brahmana named Satyavrata, illiterate, very foolish, hearing the syllable from the mouth of the boar and repeating from that time this syllable without the final in course of time became the best of the wise. By his merely uttering the word I, Devi became pleased and made him the king of the poets, etc. Reality, Satya Rupa. Satya, that which persists throughout the three times. Satya, truth. Rupa, protects. The Bhagavad Rig Veda say Satya and Asatya are two opposites of these two. Satya is that which is direct, that's Soma. Shiva with Uma cherishes and he destroys the other, Asatya, pervading all hearts. Sarva, all beings. Anta, the senses. Yamini, directs. The Shruti, this is thyself, which is within all and is immortal. The Mandukya Upanishad also says, this is within all and is the origin of all, or Sarva, all and Antaryamini, entered in all. That is, she is all in all and entered in all. The Shruti says, having created that, he entered into it. After entering it, he became animate and inanimate. The Smriti also gives explanation to the word Sarva thus. Because she always knows the beginning and the end of everything, and as this creates being and non being, she is called Sarva, faithful spouse, Sati, or Sati, reality. This is the name of the daughter of Daksha. The Brahma Purana says concerning the daughter of Himavan, she who was before Devi, the faithful spouse Sati, became Uma. She ever dwells with Shiva and he is never deserted by her. Brahmani, Brahma, Ani, tail of a bird. She is the Brahma which forms the tail of the Anandamaya sheath, or Brahma, Ani, gives life. She gives life to Brahma. The Devi Purana says she is called Brahmani because she creates or gives life to Brahma, or Brahma, the grandsire, and she is his spouse. Brahman, that which is to be attained by liberated souls, or Brahman, is the knowledge of the undifferentiated self. The Vishnu Purana says that knowledge is called Brahman, which annihilates duality, mere being, transcending speech, cognized by the self alone. Mother, Janani, she is the creator of the whole universe. This name may be compiled with the previous name as Brahmagyanani, of manifold form, Bahurupa. The Devi Bhagavata Purana says, she is formless because she is supreme. She is many formed because of her activity. Though she is of the nature of Parabrahman, she is the agent of action, such as the slaying of Bandasura, etc. As she assumes such forms, she is said to be many formed. The Gaudapada Sutra says, though one, she becomes many in order to destroy Pandasura. The Devi Purana also says, her forms are many, immovable and movable. Devas, men, animals, hence Devi is called many formed. The Sutta Samhita says, I adore her who is the supremest of the supreme, who is 1 and 2 and 16 and 32. 2 may mean vowel and consonant. The vowels are 16 and consonants are 32. La and La are the same. Ha is the root of all and is not counted among the consonants, but properly speaking, the consonants are 33. Ha is the beginning syllable of the Sahasranamam, Hayagriva. It is the origin of all, and therefore the number is 32. The Devi Bhagavata Purana says, Lakshmi, the syllable Ha, shines like a dancer through the manifestation of speech. The Vamana Purana also says, this universe is known as manifold. She is everywhere, hence Shiva is said to be many formed, or Brahmarupa, Bahurupa. She is the wife of countless Rudras, as described in the Shruti. Rudradhyaya. There are countless Rudras in the world. She is many formed. The Varaha Purana, the dark tamas energy called Raudri, is said to be Chamunda.
ब्रह्माणि ब्रह्मजननी बहुरूपा बुधार्चिता प्रसवित्री प्रचण्डाज्ञा प्रतिष्ठा प्रकटाकृतिः.
The Rajasi, passionate energy, the protector of the universe, called Vaishnavi, has differentiated into 18 crores of energies. The energy of Brahma, belonging to Sattva, is said to be infinite in number. Of all these energies, O earth, the divine Rudra is the husband as he is in all. All these great energies are forms created by Shiva, and he attends to all as their husband. One who worships these energies, Rudra, becomes pleased with him. These energies are so delighted with him. Of this there is no doubt. Concerning these things, the Nrsimha Purana says, Uma alone, in many forms, is the wife of all the forms of Shiva. The Tripura Siddhanta also says, O fair-faced one, Lopamudra, Saubhagya, and the great Vidya, the 16-syllabled one, are said to be the wives of Parashiva, O beloved one. Shyamala, Shuddha Vidya, Hayarudha, Para are said to be the wives of Sadashiva. Mahardha, Dwadashartha, Varahi, Bagalamukhi, Turiya, Bhuvaneshi, the supreme Shambhavi, listen to me, are the wives of Rudra. Tiraskarini, Lakshmi, Mishra, Kamakala are said to be the wives of Vishnu and Annapurni to Shiva. Vagvadini and Bala are the wives of Brahma. The Navadutis, Hasanti, the deities of Navasiddhas, these and other many energies are your forms. Similarly, the meaning of the name Bahurupa is variously given in every Purana, in every Upapurana, in every Tantra, but is here omitted to avoid prolixity. Adorned by the wise, the Bhagavad Gita says, O Arjuna, good men of four kinds worship me. He who is in trouble, he who desires knowledge, he who desires wealth, and the wise man. Creator, mother of the world consisting of ether, etc., or of the people. The Dharmottara says, because she generates the beings, she is called Savita. The Bhagavati Purana also says, from her proceeded all things, from Brahma to the inanimate creation, and the universe also proceeded from her, from Mahat to substance. I adore that Supreme Mother. 29th verse divides 49 names. Wrathful. The Shruti says, for fear of him, the wind blows. Kamandaka also says, how can one without processing a moiety of anger and whom the people do not fear enforce righteousness? Since she inspires fear, the Shruti says, it is a great terror, a raised thunderbolt. In the Veda Sutra, the thunderbolt is explained as Brahman or Pra, fond of Chanda, a kind of flower called Shankha, flower Prachanda, shining one. The Vishwa says, Chanda means a kind of perfume, Dhanahari. The Shankha flower, anger, and Prachanda means Durvaha, a kind of white Karavira and a brilliant man. Ordinance, the desire of the Lord in the form of command and prohibition, as expressed in the Vedas. So, in the Linga Purana, Shiva says, for she is not to be considered to be Prakriti, matter, nor Jiva, life, nor Vikriti, a second product. My eternal five-faced holy ordinance, which delivers the world from fear, proceeded of old from my mouth. The Shiva Purana also says, through this established divine ordinance of Rudra alone comes salvation. Or this name may be taken as Jna, the knower. She is the person who is the enjoyer of the gunas. The Linga Purana says, they say that by the word Jna is meant by the person, the enjoyer of the gunas. According to the Kosha, Jna means Brahma, Mercury, and a wise man. The Shruti, Jna is the death of the death, possessed of attributes, omniscient. Foundation, Pratishta, because she is the foundation of the whole universe. The Shruti says, she is the foundation of the extended universe. The Sutta Samhita also says, this is the main foundation, the foundation that relies on the supreme consciousness, which is the main foundation or the core of all the things. The 16-syllable meter is also called Pratishta. A certain kala which resides in the water, Tattva, is also called Pratishta. The Shaivagama gives its characteristics thus: that kala which gives manhood and which increases the devotion to Shiva is called Pratishta, which establishes one firmly in the Lord. The Vishwa says, Pratishta means importance of the attainment of yoga and the four-syllable division, that is 1/4 part of a verse, of form experienced, prakata kirti, prakata, experienced by all, akriti, her nature. The Sutta Samhita says, all men know him as the idea of I, yet through delusion they do not recognize him as Shiva. Prakatas are the yoginis established in the first circle of Sri Chakra. Akriti, they are her form. Some take it as a prakata, meaning secret or up, in water. Prakata manifested. The Shruti says, all this was indeed water.
प्राणेश्वरी प्राणदात्री पञ्चाशत्पीठरूपिणी विशृङ्खला विविक्तस्था वीरमाता वियत्प्रसू.
Lord of the five senses. Prana, senses. In the Veda Sutra, there is the guidance of pranas by fire, etc. It is established by discussion the existence of the ruling deity, prana, the five vital breaths. The Shruti says, he is the breath of the breath, or pra, exalted, ana, Vedas. The Shruti, Katha Upanishad says, all Vedas point out the same abode, nourisher of the senses, the vivifier of all the universe. Prana, the 11 senses. In the passage of the Shruti, all the pranas follow the prana when it goes out. Prana is explained to mean the senses. The same explanation is given also in the Veda Sutra. The pranas are 7 on account of this being understood from the scriptural passages and of the specification of those 7. 50 seeds. Panchashat, 50. The expression here generally stands for 51. Hence, Harsha Dikshita, in commenting on the first verse of the Shardalika, his body is eternal bliss, etc., explains 50 as 51. The 51 seats, Pithas, are from Kamarupa to Chaya Chatra. See Yogini Hridaya for the 51 names. Therefore, in the Pitanyasa, which is included in the Sodhanyasa, the 51 Pithas are mentioned. The Brahma Purana says clearly on this point, thus must be established in order the 51 Pithas. Those Pithas possessed with the great power that silenced all the senses and all the evil. The Yogini Hridaya also says, O beloved one should establish the Pithas in the places of divine letters. These Pithas are said to be the forms of letters. Thus, by saying that the Pithas are the places of letters, it is explained clearly that the Pithas are 51. In the commentaries on the above works, it is explained that the alphabet from A to Ksha is to be established in each place, and the nyasa of the Pithas should be performed in each place of them, the letters. The author of the Sundari Mahodaya says that the Pithas are only 50, having the syllable Ksha out of the count. This is wrong because the above quotations from Jnananarnava regulate the Pithas according to the Matrikas, unfettered. Shikhanala fetters the bondage of action, etc., as they are the cause of bondage. So great men say, O Lord, destroy my good actions as well as my bad actions. When the letters are on the feet, it makes no difference whether they are of good or bad, whether they are of gold or iron. The meaning is that ordinances are prohibitions only applied to the ignorant, or Vishrikhala, naked, because at Alambura and other sacred places, Devi is seen in that form, abiding in lonely places, Viviktashta. Vivikta, according to the Kosha, means lonely and holy places. The Harita Smriti says, the ground is everywhere holy, where no people are seen. Even uninhabited places become sanctified, though the word Vivikta means both the region of righteous people as well as an uninhabited place. It here means lonely place because neither in a bad nor in a crowded place do we find a tendency to meditate, or Vivikta, those who are able to discriminate between self and not self. Stha, she resides in such persons. Mother of warriors. Veera, chief among devotees, or those slain in battle. Mother because she benefits them. Vira, according to the Vishwa, means the vessel which contains the mead. Masa, measurer. Vira is the name of Ganesha in the Padma Purana. Shiva, when speaking about Vira, says this of wonderful feats. He is worshipped by multitudes of Ganesha. Veera, O Devi, is always dear to my heart. He is the teacher. He is worshipped by Ganesha also. After hearing this, Devi replies, I desire to have such a son, O Purantaka. When shall I see such a bliss conferring son? Then Shiva says, let this man be thy son, who is pleasing in our eyes. Through you that son will be accomplished. Suta said, thus having spoken, she, the daughter of Himavan, delighted, sent Vijaya, her servant, to fetch Veera quickly. The mother of ether, Vyat Prashu, the Shruti, says the ether is originated from the self.
मुकुन्दा मुक्तिनिलया मूलविग्रहरूपिणी भावज्ञा भवरोगग्नि भवचक्रप्रवर्तिनी.
Giver of salvation. Mukunda is Vishnu, the Tantra Raja. When describing the different Gopala mantras, the first Lalitha once appeared in the male body as Krishna. She left the world uncontrolled as she slept and became inactive. Then she was surrounded by her own energies in the form of gopis. In order to sport with them, she divided her form into 6, etc. Mukunda meant also a precious stone, abode of salvation. There are 5 kinds of salvations. Those whose body is the foot. Mula Vigraha, the Raja Rajeshwari Shakti, which is the root of all other energies, such as Bala, Bagala, etc. So there are 10 sutras in the Gaudapada Sutras which treat of this. Sutra 2 describes the threefold division of the same one, Vidya, namely Shambhavi, Vidya, Shyamala, and it is described in the succeeding sutras that each of these sutras many different energies. Knower of thought, Amara says Bhava means existence, nature, idea, action, self, birth. The Amareshas adds womb, sage, wealth, compassion, sport, dominion. According to the sutra, Bhava means dharma. According to a passage in the Smriti, the stories chiefly dwell on the Bhava, means meditation. The root Bha means the pure unconditioned one. Yaska says Bhava means the 6 kinds of modifications, namely being, birth, growth, etc. The 6 categories of the logicians are also called bhavas. Bhava, those who are involved in the earthly existence, or bhava, the followers of bhava. Bhava also means devotion. According to the Panini Sutra, Bha means light, Va to go. The sun and other luminaries depend on her. The Bhava means also the first interpretation of the 6 interpretations of the mantras as given in the Yogini Hridaya, the destroyer of pains of earthly existence. Ramayana, Book 6. I see no medicine except the Vrishabhadvaja. The Shiva Purana also says, just as the remedy for all diseases is naturally in opposition, so Shiva is foe of the pains of the samsara. turning the wheel of earthly existence. She turns the wheel of samsara like a wheel. The Manusmriti says, He, pervading all the beings by the five forms and constantly making them by the means of birth, growth, and decay, revolves like a wheel. The Vishnu Bhagavata Purana also says, Thou art alone the Lord of bondage and release of the whole universe. Wise men worship thee, Hari, the remover of pain of those who take refuge in thee. The Bhava Chakra, the Anahata Chakra, heart, because it is the place of the Bhava, Shiva. A chakra is defined in the Tantra as consisting of angles and petals. In the Anahata, there are no angular figures. There is only alone a yantra, according to the Siddhanta. That is not so. The commentator on the Vyararatna thus replies, the Mooladhara and other centers are important and are called chakras. Some apply the word chakra in the figurative sense by attributing angles to the petals. This is also wrong. If the petals are angular, they are not petals but angles, and the figure is a yantra. The meaning of the above commentator on Vidyaratna is that there are angles in the pericarp of the petals, and there is the property called chakra, like the Bindu chakra, Ashtadala, Sodashadala, Vrittatraya, and three bhurgas, which are included in the Sri chakra. Or Bhava, Shiva, Chakra, mind, Pravartini, she guides. For the Vishnu Purana says, Chakra means mind. Vishnu bears in his hand mind in the form of disk, chakra, which is constantly in motion, swifter than wind.
छन्दस्सारा शास्त्रसारा मन्त्रसारा तलोदरी उदारकीर्तिरुत्ताम वैभवा वर्णरूपिणी.
Prototype of the meters. Chandas, according to the Pangala Tantra, means Vedas or Gayatri, etc. The Vishnu says, Chandas means meter, Veda, unrestrained conduct, desire, and Sara means strength, narrow, fixity, rule, water, wealth, superiority. Here Chandas, Veda, that is the Upanishad portions, Sara, fixity. Her nature is established in the Upanishads, or Chandas is Gayatri, and other meters, Sara, her form is fixed. Among the meters, Gayatri is the essential one. The Panchadasi is its essence. Thus, it is said in the Varivasya Rahasya, for the sake of attaining that knowledge, 14 methods are promulgated in the world as means. Among these, the Vedas are the essential. In them, the Gayatri. Of this, there are two forms. Of these, the first is the one which is uttered by all. The other is completely concealed. In the four Vedas, even the Veda Purusha, Veda personified, speaks out that Vidya by the use of symbolical words such as Kama, Yoni, Kamala, and not openly. The Tripura Upanishad, Kama, Yoni, Kamala, Vajrapani, Guha, Hasa, Matraishwa, Abhra, Indra, again, Guha, Sakala with Maya, thus is the ancient Vidya, the universal mother of the world. This indicates the Kadi Vidya. The Pangala Tantra says in the two sutras, the complete Sri Chakra, Mahaprastara, is explained, though there is an infinite number of words. They are all included in this, as it is shown in the work of Chando Bhaskara. Chandas also means the signs of meters, Sara, greatness, that is, Devi is praised by the Vaikhari form of speech, or Chandas, unrestrained motion. The Vijnana Bhairava Bhattaraka says, whenever the mind finds pleasure, thither it is directed. This supreme bliss becomes manifest. So, according to this, whatever gives the perfect devotee delight, that is righteousness, whatever displeases him is unrighteousness. It is said in the Shakuntala by the Kalidasa in the prologues. In the doubtful points, the opinion of the wise is the authority. The precepts of the Smritis are only binding up to the attainment of perfection, for the Kalpa Sutra says ethical precepts until perfection. The same thing is meant by the Kaula Upanishad when it says righteousness is unrighteousness, unrighteousness is righteousness. The Yogini Hridaya also says, whether he drinks or dances, or vomits or eats, or meditates on the supreme unity, let him follow his own inclinations in peace. The desired objects of those whose minds are absorbed in contemplation are necessarily righteousness. Hence, the Smritis say righteousness means what is ordained in the Shrutis and Smritis, the custom of holy men, as well as that in which the mind delights. That is, the mind devoted to contemplated, otherwise, license would be permitted. Sara, rule. Chandas, desire. Sara, permanent form. Because Devi is in the form of Ucha Shakti, essence of the scriptures. This and the next name should be explained as the preceding one. Shastra, Vedas, for it is explained in the Veda Sutra. From its being the source of Shastra, the doctrine of the followers of Tantra also is that which lays down rules, Vidhi, in the Shastra, or Shastra, the Mimamsa, etc., which follows the Vidhi Shastra. The Bhamati says that is called Shastra by which, whether revealed texts or otherwise, essence of the mantras. Mantra may mean Vedas or the mantras in the Tantras or the 64 books about mantras. Slender waisted. If the syllable A be added, the name becomes Ataladori. The Atala Loka is her waist when she assumes the Virat form. Exalted fame or Ud, exalted, all pervading, Ara, quickly obtained, Kirti, fame, that is, by worshipping Devi. The Kosha says Ara means lightness, quickness, etc. Or the mother of Devas, her sons are called Aras, Ud, beyond Kirti, fame. Her fame excels that of the Devas, or Ara, Mangala, and the other deities. Ud dispels, that is, the utterances dispel the influence of the bad deities, such as Mangala, etc., or Ud, the golden intelligence which resides in the disk of the sun. The Shruti says, he that resides in the sun, the golden person, his name is Ud. Ara's certain kinds of weapon, her name or fame is a weapon against the person in the sun. The meaning is by worshipping her, one obtains fame excelling the fame of that person. Or Ara, the two lakes of nectar, Ud, exalted, that is, her fame is equal to that of the two lakes. This is explained in the Shruti, in the city of Brahman called Aparajita, to be obtained by those who worship the qualified Brahman. There are two lakes of nectar, resembling oceans by the name Ara and Nya. The same is again explained by Acharya also in the Veda Sutra. There is no return according to scriptures. Her glory is exalted. Dhamma, her robe, that which limits Ud beyond. There are 64 letters. These make up her form. The Panishka says, according to the Shambhava school, there are 63 or 64 letters. These are promulgated by Swayambhu in the Prakrit or Samskriti language.
जन्म मृत्यु जरा तप्त जन विश्रांतिदायिनी सर्वोपनिषदुद्घुष्टा शान्त्यतीत कलात्मिका.
Bringing peace to men consumed by birth, death, and decrepitude. Vishranti, happiness in oneself, proclaimed by all Upanishads, Sarva, Adtareya, and other Upanishads. Secret. It is explained thus in the commentaries. For whatever one does by knowledge, faith by Upanishad, that alone becomes very powerful. The derivation of it is given by Acharya thus: bringing the self near Upa to Brahman, which is opposite to duality, and destroying ignorance and what arises from it. Hence, it is called Upanishad. The Udgusta, Ud, exalted, that is unity, Gusta, according to the Kosha, loudly proclaimed. The meaning is, in each Upanishad is ordained in different kind of worship, without real difference. This is clearly explained in the Veda Sutra. The cognitions imitated by the Vedanta texts are identical on the account on difference and non-difference of injunction. And she is Kala, called Shantyatita. The Kala in the ether is called Shantyatita. The Shaivagamas describe it as the nature thus, Shantyatita Kala, and highlights duality and bestows bliss.
गम्भीरा गगनान्तस्था गद्विता गानलोलुपा कल्पनारहिता काष्ठा कान्ता कान्तार्थविग्रहा.
Fathomless. Gambhira is the large tank. The Shiva Sutra says, by meditating on Mahahृदा, the experience of power of the mantra, the commentary Mahahृदा means the supreme divine energy. Meditation means the feeling of being merged in that. Mantravirya, the cognition of the Purnahamta. Anubhava, the clear manifestation of the self. In another place also, the Supreme Queen is knowledge. She emanates first the energy of desire. The Supreme Queen is knowledge. She then grows objects as well as souls with their qualities of activity, purity, and infinity, etc. Hence, Mahahृदा means Devi, who pervades the universe and is beyond space and time. Or Gam, the Ganapati Bija, that is Ganapati, Bhi, fear, Ra, drives out, residing in ether. Gagana, ether, in the heart, or the elemental ether, or the supreme ether. The Shruti says, she is the one abiding like a firm tree in the sky. Or Gagana, ether, Anta, that is destruction. Sta, she remains. Or Gagana, the syllable, Ha, Antashrita, the syllables Ya, Ra, La, and Va. These represent the bijas of the 5 elements. Proud, Garvita, supreme egoism concerning the creation of the universe, delighting in the songs. Gana consists of 4 things, namely Tata, Anadha, Ghana, and Surshira. Gana is a musical instrument, or one of the two kinds of saman, Sharira or Gandharva, free from imaginary attributes. Kalpana, the waves of the objective world, because they are only imagined. Or Kalpa, even in Pralaya, Nara to men, Hita, friend, Nara, Brahman. For it is said, as he is the leader, Nayati, hence the eternal Brahman is called Nara. The souls are called Naras because they belong to Nara. Hita, in the time of universal dissolution, she does good to souls by keeping them in her belly in the form of vasanas. In the time of creation and preservation, there is no need to question her benevolence. The Astavakra Gita, the souls says, and me, who am the infinite ocean of consciousness. The souls, like waves, naturally rise, beat, play, and return wonderfully. Goal. The period of time consisting of 18 minutes is called Kashtha. Also, it means Daru Haridra. Kashta is the final doctrine set forth by the Vedanta passages. The Sutta Samhita says, whether visible or invisible, real or unreal, it is the Supreme Shiva. Thus, the final declaration of the Vedanta passages is called Kashta. The Shruti says, she is the goal, she is the supreme way. Kashtha is the wife of the Supreme Shiva in the form of the ether called Bhima and the mother of heaven. The Linga Purana says the divine Shiva is called Bhima in the form of ether, giving space for all things animate and inanimate. The wife of this glorious divine supreme Bhima is called Kashtha. Heaven is their son. The Vayu Purana also repeats the same. Kashtha, as she stands after crossing. The Shruti says, he stood 10 inches beyond. The Bhagavad Gita says, I do abide by a portion prevailing this entire universe. The end of sin, Aka, sin and pain. Having the half body of her husband, Kanta, Supreme Shiva. Ka, the syllable Ka, Anta, the end of it, that is, the syllable Ka, that is heaven, Artha, a division. The meaning is the heaven is a part of her body. The Shruti says the beings form only one portion of him. The three immortal portions are in heaven.